Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello everyone and welcome to our show. Today we discuss about B2B marketing and product experience, how you can improve your sales. Welcome anyone to our show. Good people, welcome. Even bad people, welcome. It doesn't matter who you are, we want to share value. Everyone, welcome. And I'm excited to discuss this topic with Eric. How are you?
Hey, Anatoly, thanks for having me, man. Things are good. It's finally sunny, so, and I'm still watching a lot of screens all the day, so I'm good, thanks.
Nice. Why it's finally sunny? It's not common to your region?
No. So I'm in the Netherlands, where Dynamic Web is a global company in e-commerce, but I am situated in the Netherlands, and we just come out of a winter period, so a lot of gray weather, rain, and all that kind of stuff. So finally getting some sun.
Yeah, nice. Got it. From my experience, nature doesn't have bad weather. It depends on your mood. If you set up good mood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part. What we're going to talk today about as well, right? Is the technology that can help drive business success. And honestly, that always puts me in a good mood. Ability to talk people, process, technology. So I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. Before we start, just tell more about your experience, background, and why you decided to take this topic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Eric Jan van Putten. I am in the Netherlands. I work at Dynamic Web, which is an e-commerce suite vendor, where we have 4 solutions: a CMS, an e-commerce, a PIM, product information management, and marketing in one single platform. So that reduces complexity in a great way. Less integrations, one single backend UI for shorter learning curves. And my experience, I've been in the whole tech, e-commerce, product info sphere for like 15 years now, at several companies, right now at Dynamic Web. And we help companies, mostly in B2B, to use technology to scale their success, to scale their business.
Can you tell how to differentiate B2C and B2B if you create the right strategy, if you want to move forward?
It's a great question, and in general, what you're seeing is that B2B can learn a lot in experience from B2C. But what is actually fascinating, if you take B2B e-commerce or commerce, it's like 4 or 5 times the size of actually B2C in revenue, in money going around. That's not what a lot of people actually realize. So the B2B market financially is actually much, much bigger. Services, custom products, bigger average order sizes, all that kind of stuff. And B2C, of course, has been here a long time as well. And B2B is generally behind in the acceptance of technology and the focus on experience. And that is really rapidly changing. COVID absolutely accelerated that in a great way as well. We've never seen growth this fast in B2B, but it is just as much about experience. And B2B can actually go in a different way. I would say it can actually go further, because in B2B, it's about building relationships. You're selling based on trust. You're selling based on the experience you can show. And technology can help a great way. If you're a salesperson, you can use the browsing behavior of your prospects or customers. For example, if you see that a certain customer is looking at your absolute enterprise product all the time, but then starts talking to you saying, I just need this light version of your product. Where would you think you want to go, right, as a salesperson? Or you can automatically fire the right kind of nurture emails simply because they looked at a secondary product that you're offering. And that is a lot of stuff B2B can learn from B2C, email automation or marketing automation, using the available data that you can gather of your behavior, and then use that to offer a better sales experience.
Mhm. Can you tell how to build relationships today? I know it's hard. For example, I usually get a bunch of spam emails every single day. I get a lot of spam on LinkedIn, on any other
Yeah,
social media. Yeah, and I think most companies they have the same experience. I remember from some online studies that usually recipients get plus 100 emails a day, but they
yeah.
read emails from colleagues, from customers in the first stage, and if they have time, they read from others. Can you tell how to find this right way to contact with them, to reach out to them, and get results?
It's a very fun question on that one because
Mhm.
it is again about trying to build that real relationship, right? Because if you take all the emails that go out, all the LinkedIn message you get, there is so many touch points being created where people want to instantly jump into, you know what? I'm very happy that I'm connected with you. How about a 15-minute call?
Mhm.
Or I saw your profile and I'm sure that you want to sponsor this 20,000 euro event of ours. You're the right exact element. Um, and I think that there is a lot of opportunity to try and build that real relation first, which, by the way, can still be supported by automation, which still can be built by technology being applied, because there's a lot of information available out there. You can find information what kind of technology is being used, if at least front end visible. You can find behaviors of people based on LinkedIn, and then tap into that to a degree at scale.
Mhm.
And that is where technology can still help build relationships at scale.
Mhm.
So don't send the first message about, hey, do you want to buy something from us? Build that first. Do you actually, you know what, Anatoly, today we're using StreamYard.
Uh-huh.
If I would reach out to you, hey, I see that you're using StreamYard, and I think it's an extremely powerful tool, but it's lacking this little feature that a platform that we have, is that something you have an interest in? Is that something you can use? Here's a free voucher, which is already pretty quickly jumping to it, but you can build on to like a couple of emails, a couple of LinkedIn messages. I see that you have a great audience. You always have like 10,000 people listening in. I see that you're using StreamYard, and then, build that relationship over time. And then you
Mhm.
might be inclined a little bit more to try out this other solution, right?
Mhm.
And maybe I'm not sure if I'm stealing your thunder on this one, but if I have his name right, Tuto,
Mhm.
B2B usually lacks UX.
Mhm.
I fully agree. It's that experience that is often lacking, because it's B2B is lacking behind on that kind of element, right? That they're based on personal relations, and all that kind of stuff. They
Mhm.
are less that they're in behind in having technology help build the relation.
Mhm, mhm. I'm interested more about finding, the right balance between
Mhm,
automation and personalization. For example, we can use templates, but
mhm.
we need to personalize the message. Can you tell from your experience how to find this balance and personalize? For example, I can't personalize the whole day one message, yeah, because I need to reach out to
Yeah.
many other customers. But if I send 1,000 emails with the same template, it doesn't work. How to find this balance between them?
It's a tough one, right? So if I want to try and answer that, because finding the balance is a tough one, and there
Mhm.
are even players out there like Gardner saying that personalization is on its way back, because it's either too hard to do, and being able to measure its success is too challenging. They don't see the success of investments like that. And I don't agree with that. I think that personalization is extremely powerful. And
Mhm.
personalization can be seen in many ways. It is about firing the right kind of message at the right time. In e-commerce, that could be something simple as abandoned carts. I wanted to purchase something. I abandoned the cart because I had something else to do. I got an email automated like, hey, I saw that you watched this product. I see that you didn't purchase it. If you purchase this in the next 24 hours, you get an X% of discount on this as well. And I think that is a great way of personalizing some of the message. It looked personal actually, but I know that it was a system doing it 100%. And you can take all that kind of stuff to different levels. You can do it for customers. You can do it based on browsing behavior on your e-commerce shop, your web shop, or other devices. You can actually have it triggered based on CRM available data. And use that, right? Because if we get a new contact, a new account into our CRM system via whatever-ish channel, we then enrich that like it's in this kind of industry, well, let's say industry to keep it simple. If that person then comes back to your website, how about your website actually personalizes based on the available data? Have a industry specific message. Have your products show industry specific products first. And that sounds sometimes very hard, very time consuming. But if you don't overcomplicate it, don't make it too complex, you can get great results with relatively minor investments, mostly time.
Yeah.
And that is something I would highly recommend to do as well. Now, taking that to the sales part, the outbound part, which I think you also wanted to refer to, that's a tougher one, right? But if you, I would say, spend real time on creating a good base list, enrich that how possible. That could be a human task, a manual task, and then you upload that list, and based on that list, a bunch of messages can be personalized, right? Because related to industries, you can have an adjusted message. You can have different reference cases being mentioned. So there's a lot of elements there that you can use. But it
Yeah.
comes in with data in for better personalization.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's related with experience. When I usually, for example, if I wanna learn more about personalization, I read templates. I find templates online. I learn from them. Check out their formats. I never use them because I know that if it's the best experience for someone, it doesn't mean that it will work for me. So I just learn ideas and
Yeah.
yeah. And the second thing, it's experience. Just learn more about recipients. Think how you can reach out to to him or her. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
depends.
And use the data you can find on it, right? And there might be a human element involved to enrich that. But then, if you're doing this based on LinkedIn, you can say something like, the industry, now match that in the message, in the outreach, with the right kind of reference cases, story, example, you name it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Can you tell about creating B2B strategy today? Where to start? What to do? Because I often see when companies fail because they have no documented content strategy. They usually chase some high volume, raw metrics, or overwhelmed, overpriced directions. When competitors pay a lot of attention. And for example, when I check out some marketing books, they proclaim you need to learn your competitors. But competitors usually highlight their strong sides. If you check out they get traffic and sales with some channels, it doesn't mean you can get results with that because you might have a different strong side. It's better to highlight your unique selling proposition. Can you tell more about that?
So there's not often a one size fits all, right? So for every company, every sector, every situation, you do want to find the best match to that has a success. You can watch your competitors, keep a little bit of an eye out on, but don't stare blind on them. Because you can spend a lot of time on keeping a track of what they are doing. But usually your competitors are not completely equal. Either they're smaller, their product offering is different, they cater to a slightly different audience, maybe they're a lot bigger, having different resources to their disposal. So it's good to keep an eye out on it, but build your own plan, I would say. And I would also relate that in B2B on know the customer, have interviews, have regular talks, have your sales guys to a degree give you the feedback on what works and what doesn't work. And based on that, you can build a story that can highly resonate. You can carve out your own kind of category if you're a little bit lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it is also a matter of good marketing, good execution, because strategy is great, but if you can't execute against it, strategy means very little. And then it's just keep pumping the right message out there, and you build
Yeah.
your whole strategy based on a factor, a series of factors on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I often see when someone is for example, I think all businesses have their strong sides. Someone is good with filming, others with writing. The
Yeah,
rest can create awesome pictures,
yeah,
But if your competitors are good with SEO, it doesn't mean that you need to do SEO. Yeah, of course, SEO is a big channel, but if
it
you're
is.
good with filming, you
But
can
also
get.
use the SEO that you have, right? Because
Yeah.
of course we do have to touch on SEO for many elements. And
Mm-hmm.
what I really like about so with dynamic web, we have one of our solutions, or actually the solution compacts that CMS, e-commerce, and a product information management. And there's a product information element at play that so often is underutilized, in my opinion. Because if you have tens, hundreds, thousands, millions of products, sometimes the product information that is available in an organization is not used publicly, is not used
Mm-hmm.
online. Now, and I don't have to tell you this, Anatoly, because but
Mm-hmm.
imagine if you have 10,000 products, you can instantly have like 10,000 product pages completely populated in the right way for an SEO value, right? You have product
Mm-hmm.
information, you have a little story, you have the right keywords in there. Honestly, there's a great opportunity to, if you have that kind of information, port it to your website or your environments and being able to use that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree. And for me, it's important to prioritize your efforts.
Yeah,
For example, you mentioned 10,000 products. If you have no resources to promote 10,000 products, then choose one product, two products, a few
yeah,
products, or a few pages. Because yeah, it's not good idea trying to compete with big brands, websites with
yeah,
limited resources. Even if you have resources, sometimes it's better to spend these resources for a few products, to get results with them, to
yeah,
occupy like I don't know top 3 positions on Google that get most traffic. And yeah, I
exactly.
always tell my customers when they share, oh, I wanna promote these keywords, and it's a list of keywords like 100,000 keywords. I tell them, no way, you have no these resources. It's better to choose where you have your
Yeah,
strong sides. And I usually check out Google Search Console. If I see pages that have good positions, in the top 10, or like position 9, 10, or position from 11 to 30, yeah, I know it's a big chance to get traffic with these keywords and jump
yeah,
on that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Mhm. Okay, I'm interested about finding the right resources. For example, if you have a customer who wanna promote, from my experience, I often get the reply that we have no experience with writing. Even big companies that have huge value on the
Hmm.
trade, but they usually reply, I need to develop, innovate my products. I need to compete with my competitors. I have no resources with writing. Can you help me with that? And it's hard because it's better to hire specialists who know the topic. Can you tell how to find people, writers, content creators who can help if companies have no experience with that?
Cool. Man, that's a real tough one. So maybe taking it one step higher level is what we are seeing with product
Mhm,
is rich product data,
mhm,
including writing, but also some technical data, images, videos, Because even a video, for example, of some technical alternator, dynamo, or some technical thing you have, for the audience that is interested in it, it's
Mhm.
valuable because they can then see it and experience it almost online on the screen.
Mhm.
And just writing about it, this is a wheel, how much info is it?
Mhm.
But that rich kind of product data can help leverage into product experience, because all of a sudden you have that understanding of it. You can read about it, you can read everything about it, to learn, is this what I need? And that actually can then lead into uh, better product experience, which leads into ordering, better commerce experience, and ideally also less returns. So it tells you how important it is to have rich and accurate product information. Now, to get to your question about writing, that
Mhm.
is tough. But maybe you can also sometimes see it as a layered approach, right? Because there's probably going to be people in your organization that do know the products and that can
Mhm.
talk about it, that can write about it to a degree. Their writing might suck, but then
Mhm.
get them to be interviewed, a meeting almost like this, and then you can transcribe, and then you can find the right kind of people out there. Could be freelancers, you could consider hiring the right kind of people, but there is a value in finding people that can write about your industry, the products, because they will know what they are talking about. Myself as well, we wanted some deeper content about product information management. And to a degree, we took it from inside, but we also hired an outside consultant who's very experienced and therefore more financially inclined, but an experienced person that is not cheap. But that person is writing great stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
don't cheap out on this one.
Yeah, totally. I couldn't agree more with that, because when you're looking for a better price or a cheapest price, you've already failed, with
Yeah,
results, because
yeah.
experts know how to charge. They know how to estimate their experience, and yeah, it's better to cooperate with experts. Find a list of experts. For example, I can share how we did it for one project.
Hmm.
We spent 3 months. We found a list of bloggers who write on many related publications, websites. We check out their metrics like comments, shares
Hmm.
on social media, SEO traffic, and after that, we got a list like 100 bloggers. We reach out to them, send the message. 50% of them didn't reply. 45% charge crazy price, yeah, a
Hmm.
real crazy price. But 5% of them, they replied to us with good price, good conditions, not cheap. It's not comparing to Upwork or any other places, but that was good price, yeah. And
Perfect.
people, yeah, so yeah, and it took 3 months to find only, if I remember correctly, 2 people, because we cooperated with 2 people, and yeah, and spent it's like more than year to cooperating with them, give them tasks. So yeah, it takes
Yeah,
time, efforts, but you can get high results with people who can write about your topic.
yeah. Quality is everything on something like that.
Mhm.
Of course, there's a little bit with SEO. There's a two-element part to it, right? Because let's say discussable quality and quantity for purely SEO purposes usually do go further
Mhm.
than I like it to go.
Mhm.
But the machines are getting smarter, and then you should also, of course, write for the people, not only
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
the technology. So, yeah,
Mhm.
going quality is always a good step.
Mhm. I found on your LinkedIn profile that you are a data-driven marketer with a focus on building and working with a great team. Can you tell more about that? How to find the right data today and to build this team?
Very fun, because yeah, I love technology, and I'm a
Mhm.
big fan of people, process, technology, framework, methodology. So what I prefer is that marketing is an integral part of the sales organization, and we can. that marketing truly can be and should be part of it. So I usually try to make marketing part of the revenue kind of targets. And that means is we also need the right kind of data to really get there. And that means is we need from the sources that we use. So that could be our own email, that could be LinkedIn, that could be Facebook, that could be other channels that we have to our disposal. And when, in our case, it's about demand generation, when we convert people, it needs to go into our CRM and it needs to contain all the necessary information, which is a little bit high level for us. Is it, of course, what did they convert on, which campaign, which asset, which something, what was the channel involved on this one? Was it Facebook, LinkedIn, our own email, or our partners' emails, or something like that? And all that data goes into our CRM. And then we have the logic in the CRM where we can track all that towards an opportunity. And if we can track it to an opportunity, we can track it to a deal. And based on that, we have closed loop end to end, give it a name. But we can see which campaigns are delivering opportunities. We can see that based on the regions we are in, the campaigns, the channels, it's slicing and dicing the data any way that works for us. And that sometimes sounds tough to do, but honestly, it really doesn't have to be. But you need the kind of right setup for that, and that is not a hard thing to do these days. So that's part one. That already gets our our data driven, because now we know to a high degree what gets us money and what is really costing us money. And you can apply this in e-commerce actually just as much. In B2C, in B2B, doesn't matter. You can apply this logic just as easily. And actually for e-commerce, there's plenty of tools and solutions out there, like Dynamic Web, but also others that can tell you exactly which activities deliver you result. Then the team part. That differs, of course, very much on the organization, the maturity, the regions, the size, the focus. But I usually like to build a team that is, when it's an international organization, where most of my personal experience is to build a central organization that takes care of corporate things, content, awareness, operations. Those would be corporate elements. And then there is a regional approach, a field marketing approach that take care of the local relations, the local activities, and also the localization, which is more than translation. And I like that kind of setup. It's scalable, and it gives the right kind of quality where needed.
Yeah, got it. Valuable. Can you tell more about technical aspect to find and collect the right data? How to do it? Yeah.
So as shared earlier, right? So if we go back to that closed loop, from a marketing perspective, the first, in our case, by the way, because there's different approaches to that as well. But if you go with something like first touch point attribution model, that first touch point is, or any touch point a customer or prospect does, is important to track as much to a degree as you can. And then also try and enrich that kind of data along the way. So on the capturing of the initial touch point, we keep it, in my opinion, relatively modest. We use UTM information combined with which channel. Part of that is hard coded. Part of that comes based on the UTM information. And that gives us already the initial touch points. That gives us the channels, the campaigns, and which content was involved. We also track the URL a little bit as a backup. We also track countries so that we can see, are all the countries we are in continuously delivering up to where they should. And then after that, the extra fun one is, of course, the additional data. Because when it is a new person, a new account, a new company in our system, it gets created automatically. It gets routed based on the location to the right salesperson. If it's new, it goes to inside sales. If it's existing, it goes to an existing sales when still owned.
Mhm.
And then we do an element of enriching of the account data.
Mhm.
And we have plugins for that, but there's many solutions out there that can do this. But we enrich with NACE codes, financial information, company information that we can get our hands on.
Mhm.
And then sometimes there's less structural elements that we also use, like build with, which is front end. You can see which front end technology companies are using, and we can use that to use for specific campaigns.
Yeah, got it. I think, yeah, the era of lazy marketers is that, marketers should find many different various solutions, before jumping
Well,
with the.
there's two ways on that. Either you can pump a ridiculous amount of money into advertising, which is not a
Mhm.
bad and a very nice to do thing as well, or you have to be smarter about it. And then the smarter part, in my opinion, comes down to process and technology.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I found on your LinkedIn profile one more time
Hmm.
that you always see opportunities to increase marketing performance and
Yeah,
efficiencies. Can you
yeah,
unhide it? How to find
absolutely,
opportunities?
absolutely. So here is again where the people process technology comes in. um, because depending on the organization, there's often a lot of elements that you can use to make organizations go faster. On the process and technology, it is about what I just exampled, routing leads to the right kind of organization, right? There's plenty of organizations out there that have everything come into the info ad box, and then someone manually needs to route that. If you automate that, you get rid of human error, you get rid of human delay. You don't have to get rid of the person doing that, but you can use that person to do something smarter. So that's
Mhm.
one simple example of using it more efficient. If you use and apply that to e-commerce as well, there is there are a lot of interesting companies out there that also have separate order systems. They have their ERP with stock information, they have their e-commerce that, of course, sells the products, but they don't have them connected. So there are situations where people need to manually correct stock levels, they manually need to shoot in the order into their ERP. Technology can help with that, making it more efficient and use the people to do something smarter, do something better. Because these days, in many regions, also getting people is really hard, right? Because in the Netherlands, at least, we have an unemployment rate of like 3.5%. So it's a very overheated market.
Mhm.
So you better use people in a smart way.
Mhm.
And that's some of the efficiency as well. Then maybe in a simpler example, um, if you have an international organization with people everywhere, simply creating plans, create a year plan that is a direction, work it out that it supports the business values, the business goals, and then drill it down to quarterly plans. And then the quarterly plans come really down almost to execute against. And those
Mhm.
can be as simple as, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What is the goal? What is it going to cost us? And when is it going to be delivered?
Mhm.
And then it becomes, for a quarter, an execution game.
Mhm. Nice, nice. And I check out one more thing on your LinkedIn profile
Sure.
about about motivation to motivate a team. You mentioned a few times that you have an international team and you cooperate with different cultures,
Mhm.
customs. Can you tell how to motivate them, how to unite them with a cohesive goal to go ahead? Yeah.
Um, it's not always easy. It can be tough.
Mm.
But it is about the people, right? And we can only have success if we work together. What I've seen in the past, well before dynamic web, is that I inherited an international organization, an international marketing team, where all communication had to go through the owner of marketing. Um, and I don't know why that was. Was it distrust? Was it? I don't know what the reason was. But I much more liked it to basically push everyone in the foreground. It made everyone go faster. It made everyone more visible. And please only to see me when I should be aware of it, or when something needs to be escalated. Where escalation is not a bad thing per se, by the way. It's often perceived as that, but doesn't have to be. Um,
Mhm.
so push people forward, to shine, because if they do well, honestly, the points go up anyway. So you get those kind of elements in play as well. But I
Mhm.
would say that push people forward, and give space to make mistakes. Of course, when you kind of see
Mhm.
someone moving in a direction where they would delete your complete CRM system, then please stop them in time. But if it's something that is manageable, then have them make the mistake. Learn from it,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah,
think that that can
totally.
work absolutely great.
Mhm. Yeah, failing only brings a new experience. And I like the quote from Elon
Yeah,
Musk. And he said to his team, if you don't make mistake, you are not innovative enough. So we need to
yeah, I
make
like it.
mistakes to learn from that.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
absolutely
Uh,
true. It's a very good element.
what do you think about AI today, artificial intelligence? Do we need to use it to adapt today? Because when I speak with AI specialists, they usually tell if you don't consider today, you will lose tomorrow. What do you think about that?
Um, um, I feel I have a little bit of an opinion about AI, because I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of AIs are nothing more than machine learning (ML),
Mm-hmm.
but they're put into AI kind of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that it can be truly impressive how it could be used, what is possible with it. But I think it is not used enough in a true way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it can be used to classify images. Yes, it can be used to help with content. But where is the AI that actually gets the email delivered exactly at the right moment, so that my open and click rate really goes up?
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't seem to exist for real yet, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a good way, because, well, otherwise we will all serve the big matrix overlord.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I think that for AI, I think there's a real opportunity ahead, mostly from a
Mm-hmm.
machine learning perspective. But people should also not underestimate how much data is truly needed to
Mm-hmm.
make it usable. If you are a mid-sized, even digital mature organization, there's a big chance you just don't have enough data to make machine learning truly work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different story, of course, when you're talking insurance with millions of customers. Then you might start to play with enough data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well explained. Love it. Okay, I have the final question. What do you think the best way? Probably, yeah, we have know the best way. How to learn about B2B marketing today if someone wanna be an expert like you?
Well, thanks. I think there's a couple elements to this one. I would say be hungry, be
Mm-hmm.
trying stuff out, learn fast, fail fast, learn even faster. But for sure, stay hungry. Read the right kind of articles.
Mm-hmm.
Read analyst reports, depending on the market you are in. But stay hungry, stay curious, and try stuff out. I think that is
Mm-hmm.
one of the most basic elements to do. So yeah, curiosity. So stay curious, stay hungry, and go the extra mile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I read an interview with Cristiano Ronaldo, and he mentioned that he's always hungry. He got all rewards in the world, he got everything, but he's hungry,
Yeah,
yeah.
go further, go faster, try stuff out, read.
Mhm.
And you can still do that in a normal work week, usually. Yes, you might be needed to read a book extra or an article on a Saturday,
Mhm.
or read or write a blog post at 8 in the evening or 9 or whatever.
Mhm.
But if you stay curious, because the industries that I've been in is fast moving, it's technology. Um, but if you stay curious and you go and stay hungry and you go that extra mile, I think that is something that can help bring success.
Nice, Eric. Thanks a lot for taking your time, for sharing all these valuable insights. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
Yeah, sounds really good. Just find me on my LinkedIn profile. Otherwise, send me an email, egp@dynamicweb.com. Always happy to talk about technology, marketing. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
Nice. Okay, guys, you can find all these links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. Yeah, it's a big pleasure. I love learning. You share a lot of valuable insights. So, guys, please reach out to Eric, follow him, learn, continue learn from him. And yeah, thanks for listening and watching us.
Cool. Thanks.